because when we are going with the objects and all, no, we know the basic what, but how to apply. So when we have to apply, according to the requirement, when we have to apply. So that confusion I have. So I don't have a confidence to which I have to do it, which I have to select. So according to the requirement.
So basically, one question. Do you know the implementation of local variables?
Huh, yeah.
You know it, right?
Yeah.
So everything starts with Scratch, and the Scratch in APN is interface. First
Yeah.
thing is data modeling, CDT. The second thing is interface. If you make yourself expert in interface, you will make yourself expert in a lot of things.
Huh.
So Krishnavini, are you well versed with local variables?
Yes,
And
I
AY, like
I would say
AYR, like I guess you are also well versed with local variables, right?
yes.
Yes.
So let's dive into like implementation of you know an application right away. I hope everybody knows what is a community account. This is just my community account, and I have opened my APN designer. Please let me know if you do not know anything. We'll be creating a new application with a basic mode. This is our data source. I don't want this one. We'll create a new application from scratch. That is much more convenient because it will give a new unrequired object. So the application name is Crayon Trainee Application. This is the prefix. Now question is one question is why prefix is used. Does anybody knows that why prefix is used?
To identify our application.
Yes, to identify our application and the objects inside our application. Let me show you why. This is your basically a designer view. Just read the URL. This is your basically a designer view, and the application is being created. Forget about the groups. I'll tell you why the prefix is used. This is an interview question. Let's get back to the application panel. These are all the applications inside your designer, right? Please be interactive by saying yes or no and by unmuting yourself.
Yes, yes.
So as you see, these are the applications. As you see, these are the applications inside your designer panel. So when we are talking about objects, so let's just move ahead to objects. Now if you click on this objects panel, you will see for example, if I clicked on expression rule, you will see multiple expression rules throughout your designer environment. Inside your designer, irrespective of your application, you will see multiple objects. Now here comes the twist. If you are having a prefix, you will be able to identify as a developer that this object belongs to your application, right?
Yes.
If you see DU or VOF, that means this is not the part of AA. AA stands for a different application and DU stands for a different application. So when it comes to the deployment, that means moving your data from one interface to another, from one application environment to another. For example, as I am an API developer, so we have to frequently give updates on the application once it is deployed. So for example, in a particular deployment, I have changed 5 interfaces. So I will select these 5 interfaces and move my these interfaces or expression rules or any other object from this environment to the testing environment. So in order to move it, I need to identify that whether these objects belongs to my application or not, and I have to make sure that I do not need to move anything which is not belonging to my application, right or wrong.
Yeah.
So that is the only reason that prefixes are used while creating objects, so that on a holistic level you identify that which objects belongs to you. Just like in school bus, In some schools, like for small kids, like school bus conductors write bus numbers on the collars of the student, small kids, so that they identify just after, when the scattered number of students are coming out of the lines after the school is over, so they identify which student belongs to the bus number 13. They will identify through the collar that this is the bus number 13 student. Understood? So let's move ahead with our application. This is our application. As you see, two icons. This is a gray icon because it is unpublished, and this is a red icon because it is a published. Now what is the difference between published and unpublished application? We'll discover later. Let's move ahead with the application. These are the basic objects which are created or pre-made in Appian by the Appian designer environment while creating the application. Why they are provided to us and why they were not provided to us in the earlier part, like in the earlier versions of Appian, we have to manually create groups, we have to manually create folders, and then we have to proceed with the application from scratch. But nowadays, after frequent updates in Appian is also evolving, so it has given much more ease and comfort while creating an application by giving us pre-built folders and groups. So administrators are and users are one of the most common groups inside an application, and like, let me show you a rough figure for every application, how security is implemented in application. So basically this is your application. Okay, these are all users, right? Are you there?
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
sometimes I feel that my internet is lost and I keep on speaking, so please tell yes or no frequently. Okay,
Okay.
so when I'm saying that these are my all users, means every user who will be interacting with my application is all users. So whether you are an admin, whether you are a HR or any other particular stakeholder, or whether you are an normal user, just layman, just a normal user, whether you are a data entry operator, so you will be getting access inside this application. Okay, through all users. This is least restrictive group inside your application. Now here comes the restriction. Administrators. If you know the knowledge of Venn diagrams, you will understand this is the superset and this is the subset. And if this is the subset, that means the subset also holds the property of superset. So administrators are also users, but administrators are restrictive users. They have special abilities compared to normal users. Right or wrong?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Here comes another group. For example, managers. Managers are not administrators, they are not technical people, but they hold special abilities. For example, they have the ability to delete the uh, files inside your application, or they have the ability to view the report. Normal users do not have the ability to view the report, they just have the ability to enter the data. But the managers have the ability to view the report as well as delete the data, as well as enter the data. Like, whether you think about manager or whether you think about the administrator, they both have the ability to access the application, as they are the part of users inside the application. But administrator have super special ability and managers have special ability. Administrators control the front end as well as back end inside your application. They can control your data movement as well as how the data is being stored in your application. So the most privileged access inside your application is administrators. That is why administrators is a pre-default group, like by default group inside your application. I hope you understand with the help of this diagram like how the things are working on. You see,
Yeah.
as I am a normal user, let me give you an example. If I am an administrator, let's see, if Saf is an administrator, he is also a normal user, right? Because administrators are part of normal user. So if I am an administrator, I am also a normal user. Plus, I am an administrator also, right or wrong?
Yes.
So this is how it goes. Next, you understand what are groups, why groups are important. Because if you do not create boundaries, for example, if think about our homes, if we do not have walls, so our rooms will not be differentiated. Plus, if we do not have boundaries in our homes, there will be no securities. Your neighbor can come to your fridge and take 2 packets of milk, or anybody can access anything, your precious materials like gold. So securities is implemented by creating boundaries. And how to create boundaries in Appian? By using groups. Normal user cannot access what admin can access. A normal user cannot access what manager can access. That means there are boundaries. How boundaries are implemented? By using groups. Just like in our homes, you create walls, you create boundaries, you create fences. That's why same things are going in with Appian. Yes or no?
Yes.
So these are something which you can identify with the help of the icon groups. Again, we have different folders: process model folder, document folder, and rule like document folder. Now there are some technical differences between them, which we'll figure out later on. So as you all understood that you know what is Appian and what are the objects, and I need not to train you for each and everything, and 1 hour is very less to train you in each and everything, but I will give you a gist of everything. Like if we talk about interface, we can create a new interface. We can create an interface from scratch. This is the name of your interface, and why prefix are used. I hope everybody is know why prefix are used now.
Yeah.
This is design mode. This is just for beginner developers, so that they get motivated by playing drag and drop in Appian. And this is expression mode, which is for advanced developers. Now, what is the approach to develop an interface or design an interface in Appian? Nobody is God here. Nobody does not understand. Nobody remembers each and every line which is inside Appian. In a short span of time, you can never learn anything. You need not to mug up anything. You just have to understand the rules and regulations of layouts. You just have to figure out at what point which layout can be a child of what layout, and which layout can be a parent of what layout, right? So let's just start with an interface. Everybody knows with a section layout you can pick and drop this, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is a section layout.
Even Saif,
Yeah.
yes, Saif, I'm getting confused to select which layout. So many times I'm getting confused.
Because you lack the knowledge of hierarchy of layout. Some layouts do not allow
Yeah.
another layout as a child. Some layouts are restrictive layouts. Some layouts are just like humans. Some people are extroverts. If you sit beside them in a bus, they will just start talking about their career and their how sad their life is going on. And some people are introverts. Even if the world revolves around them and doomsday come, they will not talk to you. There are some people who are restrictive and some people are very open. Same goes with layout. Some layouts are very restrictive and some layouts are very open. Some layouts can accommodate any other layout, any other component inside them. But some layouts are like this. Every time you try to use them, they will give an error. So let's start with the section layout. Section layout, as you see, this is design mode. Now here comes the twist. Like if you want to learn the properties of a particular layout, just drop the layout to the interface and go to the expression mode. Understand what are the changes that has been done in the code. These are the properties. Click on line number 2. Like if you want to see any property of any function in Appian, just go to the opening brace of that Appian and you will see the properties. Click on the properties of that thing and then you see in the function there are multiple properties, and there are every property is of different type. For example, label is of type text, you cannot enter boolean in label. Contents is of any type, you can any type means a section layout can hold any type of another layout or another field or another user input. That means section layout is a very good layout, it can hold anything. There are multiple validations you can use. There are validation groups. Is collapsible is of type boolean, if you try to enter text it will not allow. So these are the things that you have to understand, that the rules and regulations of writing code and properties in Appian, and then you will be able to figure out that what I have to write in a correct manner. And nothing comes with just mugging up anything, it comes with experience. Once you start implementing things on a daily basis just on a test mode, so it will come in your subconscious mind that yes, I am able to do it. And within a few days you will not even think that you will remember each and everything in few practices. Any doubts on how to implement the learning out here for layouts?
No.
Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
If you understood the section layout, let's assume you read everything in the section layout. Let's move to the design layout again. Design mode. This is your section layout. I have not changed anything in section layout. I will put columns layout inside my section layout. I will move back to the code. I will see the changes in my code. I will study each and every change. What is being changed? Earlier contents was empty. Now there is a column layout. Inside the column layout there is a columns property. Inside the columns property there are 3 more columns layout, and inside those 3 more columns layout there are contents. In that contents I can put any field or any other layout. It is my wish. Let's hover to the columns layout. There is a difference between columns and column. So columns means a layout that holds another column layout, but column layout is a single layout. Okay, so these are minute differences that you have to study. You see columns layout, this is different. If you see column layout, this is different. You see, let's move ahead. Let's put a side by side layout inside this. You see, it accommodates very easily. You have a section layout. Inside a section layout you have columns layout. Inside columns layout you have 3 column layout. Inside 3 column layout you have a particular column. Inside that column you have a side by side layout. Let's go to the code again. Inside a particular layout you have a side by side layout. Now you're understanding what is design mode and what is the difference between design and expression, how to read the code. Right now, just by seeing this in a preview mode, you will not be able to see that what is inside what. But if you see in expression mode, you will see the hierarchy and you will be able to figure out what are the contents inside each and everything, right? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
I guess rest of the people are having breakfast. Are we on the same page? Are we able to understand? Yes or no? Anybody can prompt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you keep on saying yes, I will be much more motivated. And if you keep on muting yourself, then I will feel that you are getting bored.
No, you carry on.
Yeah. So as you see the different hierarchies of different layouts, then you will be able to understand what layout accommodates what another layout as a child. Now we have different scenarios.
Say if you are on mute,
Yeah, actually my internet went down for a moment. So now we have different scenarios. There are different types of components that you can put. Like, as you can see, this is my side by side layout. In my center one column layout, I will put a multiple columns layout inside this. So as you can see, I am having 3 spaces of column layout where I can put my fields. In the first one I am putting my text field, in the second one I am putting my paragraph field, and in the third one I am putting my integer field. So based on my requirement, this is just very bad layout to see, but I'm just trying to explain you that how easy it is to pick and drop things as per the layout. First you have to understand what is the rules and regulations of different layout. Then only you will be able to understand and design interface in the design mode and pick and drop things. Then once you are done with that, then you are much more comfortable in understanding how things are working on in the expression mode, and then you are able to manipulate the properties by manipulating through the keyboard here. First you need to know what layout allows what things. Let me clear everything again and let's design a clean interface. We have a section layout. Inside a section layout we have multiple columns layout. Inside those column layout I will delete one column. Now I have 2 columns layout. Inside those 2 columns layout I will create inside those 2 columns layout, that's what we have to do. For example, yeah, that is completely fine. I will put a text layout here. Beyond this text layout I will put a paragraph field. Beyond this text layout I will put a paragraph field. Beyond this paragraph field I will put an integer field. Beyond this a decimal field. Beyond this a date field. Beyond this again a date and time field, and so on. Let's move ahead to the another layout. Is this one date and time, this one encrypted text, this one file upload, this one signature, this one barcode, and this one, for example, rich text, and this one example tag. Now as you see in expression mode, my expression mode will be full of multiple codes. These all are just hollow codes. When I talk about hollow codes are nothing but these are just placed for your understanding, and you have to click on it and modify it, right?
Yes, sir.
As a beginner, you have not paid a single effort in writing 103 lines of code. 103 lines of code is already written by Appian just by picking and dropping things in a particular layout in a correct format. You just have to understand what is the correct layout. Now the next step is configure the code. For example, section layout. We have a property in section layout. Now if you are a intermediate developer, you are not a beginner developer anymore, you can just configure the properties right away from here. Now how to understand these properties? Just scroll up, click on section layout, and you will see multiple properties. Whatever the properties that you need, it is already there. You just have to read it and implement it. Nobody is God, nobody learns everything, nobody mugs up everything. It's just frequent use of things creates experience in your mind, in which you need not to remember anything in the future. It takes a lot of experience and regular practice to get in the flow. You should not expect that just after using one time you will be able to remember each and everything. So as you can see, the properties that are present here, I will be using few properties in section layout. Okay, label. Then we have contents is already defined here. I will not use contents. I will use is collapsible. Is collapsible true. Okay, and then is initially collapsed. Like when you load the page, is it collapsed or not? Let me show you again. is collapsible means you can collapse the entire layout. That means the entire contents will be collapsed on the click of a arrow. But when you load the page, is it collapsed or not? So this is the trigger of the another property, is initially collapsed, true. So next time when I load the interface, it will be initially collapsed. Okay. Next, divider. Let's read the property of divider. Divider determines that when a divider appears within the section, valid values are none, above, below. So I will choose below. Okay. If you see on a minute note, you will see a divider below my layout. Now here comes the question in your mind. I have choose the divider as below, right? So my layout is a parent layout. Parent layout has multiple child nodes, and the parent has a divider, right? So that's why the divider is coming below. If you see, this is the divider. If I will
So
choose,
where it is showing, sir?
you see the gray line here.
Yes, sir.
This is the divider.
Yes.
Let's save it first. Let's reload it. Let's not put divider below, let's put divider above, and let's feel the difference. Just below the name you see the divider. Now it's not anymore in the bottom. You see the difference in the properties. Now let's
Yes,
modify
sir.
the divider weight. Divider color, you can put any valid hex code. Now if I will Google hex code for lime yellow, this is a lemon yellow color. I can put any valid hex code as a string here. It will show me a valid yellow line, lemon yellow line. Now there is another one. Yeah. So now there is another option to modify. I am not remembering anything, I am just reading the properties and I am using those properties which are of my requirements. So same thing you have to do. You do not have to remember anything. You just have to read it and you have to use it. This is as simple as that. Now again there is a property label color. What is label? This is label, what you have written. Label color. Again I will provide valid hex code. So it will be a valid hex code. It will change the color. Now again there is another property, label size. I will put large. You see, there are another options for label size. Medium, small, small, large, large. So if I'll put large plus, it will be very large. Sorry, large plus. You see? So how to manipulate the layouts? How to manipulate the layouts using the properties? You need to understand the properties once, and once you understand what is the properties of what layout, you have the ability to completely manipulate that as per your own requirements. You see? Same thing goes with each and every field here. I can manipulate each and every field as per my own requirements. Are you able to understand? Rupa, Krishnavini, Evaya, Ankush.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can
Yes,
understand.
Yes, I.
So it all depends on how to customize your own code. Not everybody has the same situation and the same requirement. You have to decide what you have to keep as a property here, and based on that you can manipulate it. Now let's move ahead with multiple properties here. Again, there is a property called label icon. Appian has by default a dictionary of icons. When I say dictionary of icons means Appian documentation has multiple icons. somebody is there. So APN has multiple icons like trash, times. So these are the some keywords which you have to search on Google, like APN icons. You will see the icons in the APN documentation. I just clicked on the old version. You can click on the latest version. I'm just giving you a rough walkthrough of what are the icons available in APN which you can use. You need not to make any extra efforts. You just have to write the correct name and it will show the correct icon. For example, Grey on Tech TV. So we will find something related to internet. Mm, yeah, like we frequently use Telegram, so we can use this one, and we just have to paste this, and it will show us. Here comes the question: can you use any external icon which is already present in Google, which is not present here? Can you use anything outside it? Yes, you can use it, but there is a different approach to do it. Right now, I am showing you how to use default APN icons. You see, there are many icons available. You can use any of them. Soon I'll be getting a silver play button. So this is it. Jokes apart. So these all are the properties of APN. You can configure them and modify them. All the efforts that you see, it is just done just to configure a layout. Now every field has multiple properties. You need to understand what are the different properties of the different fields, and then you need to configure them. Do you want me to proceed with the different properties of different fields, or shall I move to another topic?
Another topics.
Another topic? Rest everybody is on the same page. Do you want to learn some advanced things or not?
Yeah.
Do you want to learn how to use an API in your interface?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Are you interested like to just move on to learning advanced API topic?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on to just figure out API COVID API India. This is nothing fancy. I'm just trying to find out a API which is giving me a data for India. COVID cases API, free API. There are many paid API, so I just want free one. Uh, this is not what I am expecting. In the meantime, can anybody tell me what is API?
Application program interface to connect to a different application to get the data. Like if you want, suppose Google Maps, If you want some location to show in our website, we can use the API. It will help us bring the data.
Now my question is, explain API to a child in a single line.
Like we go to restaurant, right? So the waiter, we whatever we want to order, we say the orders to waiter that we want to eat these things, and the waiter will go to the kitchen and bring the dishes what we want. So the waiter here is like the API, and whatever we are asking for is from will come from the kitchen. So like in for example, Google Map is the kitchen, and the waiter is the API.
Okay. So who is the chef? Who is the
Chef
chef?
is the
Chef is
developer
chef is a
of
developer.
that
So
of that
then what will you give name for the database?
database.
If chef is the developer, then what will you give the name of the database?
Database. No idea, sir.
Okay, we'll understand. I'm just trying to figure out any data related to India, but I am just getting the JSON data for the world. Let's not waste time and choose this data only. This is for US, but no worries, we'll use this one. We'll not waste time. So basically, uh, these are the JSON format. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and let me give you an idea of an API through a diagram. There are two applications interacting in no, there are two applications working independently. If you are a developer or if you are a normal user, you requested a company to use a particular feature of a different application inside your application. So from that particular big application, you are using a particular small chunk of code inside your application. For example, this application is made for Linux and you have created an application for Android mobile, right? Both have different environments, both have different requirements, and both have different style of writing code, and both have different languages. So what is an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. It is just a tunnel or bridge between your data transition, moving of data from one application environment to another application environment. In short, if you want to use a particular feature of a completely running application which is of an external system. For example, if I am having a college website, right? I am giving a very sweet example. If I am having a college website, I am the developer of a college website of my college, and on the click of WhatsApp icon, I want to open the chat of the WhatsApp number of my college. So for my website, WhatsApp is an external system, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
So for WhatsApp, my college website is an external system, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
So you have to establish a bridge between two independent applications on a common level. How to do that? You can expose the API of WhatsApp. You can expose the API of WhatsApp. Now API is nothing but a package of multiple written codes which are ready to be exposed inside your application. There are some core coding inside a particular application which does not wants to be public, which the company does not wants to be like how security is implemented in WhatsApp. WhatsApp does not want to reveal this, but WhatsApp is ready to give its API to use it inside another application. So understand the difference. There are many core business logics that companies do not allow to you to use them. But there are many free and very lightweight things that company says yes you can take mine. For example, if you have a geometry box in your school and you have compass, you have D, you have scale, but you have very colorful and very bright eraser. If your best friend asks your geometry box, you will give them everything, but you will take your eraser first because eraser is the most precious one. Same thing goes with companies. Companies can give you API for most of their tasks, but they will not give you the API for their core business operations. For example, how WhatsApp is being secured and how WhatsApp is managing the data, there is no API for that. But for petty and small things, there are many APIs available for free. For example, I googled a single API for Corona and I got a free API. I got the free data. I didn't paid anything. I didn't created any account. Right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
So there are many companies, many applications who are ready to expose their data to other applications through APIs, and they are saying yes, come and use me. And there are many developers and many applications who need them. So that's why we use their APIs, so that we can get the data that we want and we can use inside our application. So establishing a bridge between two different independent systems irrespective of the environment is called an API, application programming interface to move data from one place to another. Whenever we talk about computing systems, we talk about data transactions, to and fro, get, put, post, DDL, DML, DCL commands in database. So whatever you are doing, you are just managing and putting the data. So when we are talking about APN, how APN utilizes the API, we are just trying to figure out a data source, which we have figured out that this is a data source for COVID data, and how to use this data inside your interface. Now we have to see this. Are you able to understand what I am trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Rest
Yes.
of the people.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you give me 2 minutes? I just have to drink water. I was just consecutively in a number of trainings. Can you just give me 2 minutes, please?
Sure.
Sure, sir.
Just hold on. Yes, I'm back again. So we were at the point to discuss how to utilize the API data inside your application, right? You have the data source in like you have the data source as an API. API is nothing but a URL. It can be a URL, it can be a JSON data. Now these are some things which are going very technical, and I cannot explain you in a single hour. But for just the current moment, you can understand API is nothing but a data source. From any external application, you are just getting data, and you have to utilize the data for your own business purpose, right? So this is our data. Let's start to create an API object. Shall I show you step by step?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have to click on new. You have to click on integration. How to integrate your data using an integrate object. You are just using an integration object. You have to click on create from HTTP only, because you are not using any connected system. You are not duplicating anything else. You are just creating an HTTP request, because this is just a URL. On the basis of hit of the URL, you are getting the data, right? So this is a basic API which is used for HTTP request, and it is giving data as a response in the JSON format. So create from scratch HTTP only. GTA API request. Okay. You want to write description, you can write, but I want to save time right now. You just have to hit on create. Now your HTTP request is being created. Again, there are multiple configurations. Just like we have configurations in different components in interface, same thing goes with the integration. There are multiple configurations, but you need not to take care of n number of things. You just have to paste the URL here. In the current scenario, I'm saying, but in the future there might be a different thing. You just have to paste the URL. Okay. Method is get, because you are trying to get the data. So it will be by default get, and it is completely fine. There is no authentication, there is no user ID password, there is no developer credentials. Anybody can access the URL. I am also giving you the URL. You can just hit the URL in your own laptop and you can get the data. Right? That means there is no security. Anybody can access the API and anybody can access the data. Right? Let's just test the request. Hit on test and you will get the response. If it is a positive response, it will return the success as true and HTTP response and status code 200. 200 means it is a positive response. The API is returning the data. And if for example, if I write something blunder and test the request, it will give me error 404 not found, false, success false. Right? Let's try to copy the correct data request again. Again test the request, true, and I am getting my body here. Okay, let's save the changes and let's use this API call in our interface. This is our expression mode. Let's go to the code, select all, cut a bang local variables. I hope everybody knows local variables. Local bang test and then expression mode. Again, this is your interface. Earlier it was a normal interface with normal approach of rule input maybe, but now we have implemented the local variables. Somehow you have to bring your data to the interface through a local variable. This is your local variable. Right now it is null. The type is null. Okay, the type is text, but by default it is null. Right? Is everybody on the same page? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You just have to copy this. You just have to use it. One more thing, as you see, your designer is assembling all the objects. Whatever you are trying to create the objects. Right now we created an interface and then we created an integration. You can see and differentiate by the icons, and you can see that it is already in your designer. It is belonging to your application. So as you have created this integration, now we are using this integration object inside an interface. Rule bang, local variable colon rule bang, your integration name. Copy this and paste this. Okay, let's test this. Success true. If you expand it, before expanding it, let's click on it and check what type of data it is. It is a dictionary. As a dictionary, it is having multiple data fields, and we have to access only. What do we have to access? We have to access only the body. We need not to know the n number of data. So how to access the body? We have the result here. Inside the result, we have headers, but we need not any of this data. We just want the body. Right or wrong? Just if you have understood arrays in Java, so you can understand this. This is your API call. If I will hit dot result, let's see what changes. I got the result. Rest of the data got wiped up. Right? Inside your result, if I want to get only the body, let's index body. I am just getting the body. I am not getting the n number of data here. Result. As you see here, these are n number of things, success, true, result, headers, and so on so. But I am just curious to know the body, so I am getting only the body. You see? Right or wrong? Anybody? Yes, no, any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Next, you have the control over your data. You got the data from the API. Now it is your task to understand that how to utilize this data. Let me show you some few examples. Local bank cleaned request colon local what do we have to do? Let me first figure out. Okay, this is key value pairs. Okay, so I can split it on a simple note. I can split it. There is a function called remove. If I want to remove like the curly braces and the square brackets, so I can remove everything. But before that, let me show you what I am trying to remove. How to clean my data. There are curly braces starting in that starting, and there are curly braces in the ending. And in the ending, right or wrong? And this is the type text. So how to do it? So you can remove the curly braces by using remove function. Now read the property. Remove array index. At what index you have to remove the data? At what index you have to remove the characters of your data from the array? Now array is a list, but right now we are having the data as string. So it will not work because it is an array. It is not. This is just a simple text. So what I'll do, I'll give you a rough example by using split. How to use split? Split is nothing but you just have to put on text. As you see, the data type is text. This is the text, right? You can put the data as local bank request API data, comma. On the what basis you have to split. So I want to split on the basis of comma. So now as a result I will get my list in the clean request. Let's test. I will get my clean request. If I will access my clean request, I will get the list. You see? You see? For example, if you want to access death, so what you have to do? Look, are you there? Yes or no? Please say something. I think my internet is down.
No, sir. We are here.
If I want to access people who are dead from this API, so what I will do? Local bank death is equals to local bank clean request index. I think it was 69. I think it was no, it was not 69. Death log index 38. As you see, I will get another variable which is having the list of those people, which is having the value of those people who are dead. Again you are seeing this is a key value pair. So what I'll do? Local bank cleaned death is equals to split local bank death, comma, on the basis of colon. Now let's see what we'll have. Cleaned death. You'll have two items. First is death and another is 510439. Now you can use local bank test 1 a bank for each. Inside these items, local bank clean death expression a bank map. Is there anybody who is trying to enter? So in this expression we have a bank map. So you can use, like, I brought the data from API as a body and then I cleaned the data and then I pick the data which is of my requirement, and then I clean that data, and then I'm trying to use that data in my interface. Even if I'm not, like, there are many things that I can do, but I do not want to waste much of your time. What I'm trying to say is, you can clean the data from API, you can get the data as per your own requirements, you can clean the data and you can use that data. In spite of using this, what I'll do is, as I'm having this, I'll index local van test1 is equals to local van clean death index 2. I'm just giving you a rough example how API is used. Now you have, in the test1 variable, you have the data of the the number of people who are dead from the API. So with all the efforts, with all the API request object, with the integration object, with the API data on the interface, after cleaning that, you are getting the final value, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Now you can use this value anywhere inside your interface. Let me show you how. We have this. Let's what say? Let's use a section layout. Inside the section layout, let's use a card layout. Inside that card layout, let's modify that card layout. Let's go to the expression rule. We have a card layout here. We have contents here. Even inside the card layout, you have multiple contents, so you can use rich text. Inside the rich text, you can pass the data. And how to style that, let me show you. This is your rich text display field. What is the hex code that we used? Let's take a red hex code. Okay, and rich text display field, rich text item, and you can remove the label so that it can hide the name. And you can use the label here, number of deaths. Or you can append it here only. Ampersand is used to append the data. You see? So I guess this is enough for you to, make you realize how to use the API and how to use this entire API call inside your interface, and what are the efforts that we did for calling the API. And if you want a particular attribute inside your API, there are multiple things inside your API, for example deaths, active cases, states, and also and much more. So you have to decide that what you have to do, then you have to point to it, and then you have to use it. So it is something which is not coming from a database. It is something which is already coming from an API, so you do not have to manage the authenticity and the refreshing of the data. It will automatically refresh from time to time, right or no?
Yes, Saif.
So I guess this is enough for the day, and I hope you had an amazing time to learn how things work with APN and what are API calls, and I hope you learned few things from me. Uh, I am Saf. I am an APN developer and a trainer, and in the morning I train, and in the noon I work for a company. This is all about me, and I believe you all are working somewhere. That's why you are looking out for APN as a new tool for the career transition. APN is going quite well in terms of job opportunities, even in India and outside India. And there are many people who are from different career fields like testing, Power BI, and so, like who are not into core development, but they are trying to come into the development sector just through APN, because APN is quite easy to learn and understand, and they have a good community. And we have very frequent jobs starting from startups to the big top-notch companies. And I'm in also a very good company who is doing pretty much good in APN. So this is all about me. I would love to know about you and your feedback. Like please spare 2 minutes if you want. It is very motivating for me to know that how you felt in this session, so that someday later I can see you again with another topic. Can you please tell me how it was?
Hey, hi, Seth. So this is Ray. I joined in very late, but yeah, what I saw was pretty much good stuff. So do you record or do you have a YouTube channel or something? Because this is some interesting stuff and it should not be within the closed group actually.
Yeah, I have YouTube channel, and let me give you my YouTube. Not with my YouTube. I'll give you my uh, link tree URL. So you can catch me later with my URL here, and you'll find my YouTube channel, my Instagram channel, my official YouTube Instagram account, my personal LinkedIn account if you want to catch me. So you can catch me later with the URL on the chat which is mentioned there, and
Okay.
you can join our Telegram group. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a few videos over there. So
Okay.
I'll post this video as a recording on YouTube. So if you want to figure out things later and revise it, you can just grab on the
hmm
video later on. And I would love to know about, like, are you can you please tell your background from where you are, like which technology domain you are?
So I'm quite fresh in Appian. I cannot say that I have a background or domain as such. So uh, nothing from my side as such.
And
But
how's
yeah,
the feedback?
definitely looking to learn some good stuff within Appian from you.
That's great. Thank you for the kind words. That is quite motivating. Ankush, what about you? You're not audible, I guess. Rupa, I guess Rupa is a quite old member of our group, and I know she's starting out with APN. And just wanted to know the feedback, how it is, like how was my training?
Yes, I already saw your video. Uh, I learned much better. Before I was confused with the layouts and all. Now I cleared and I don't know how to use APIs in this integration. So, but I learned that also. I like I liked it very much. So we are expecting more to learn from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the motivation. And
And Saif, I have a doubt. Like people those are here, no, they are telling like as a fresher they are getting into it. So as a fresher, how much we can expect from the company, Saif?
as a fresher, there is a different from the company point of view, I am telling, for APN developers who are freshers and for APN developers who are coming from different technology into APN. So company treats you differently. If you are a fresher, company will allow you, I guess Rupa left. So I'll resume the topic later on. So Ankush, you are not audible. Can you please unmute in the meantime? Yeah. Yeah, Rupa is back again. So I was telling that Ankush, please configure your audio in the meantime. I'm replying to Rupa. So Rupa, I'm telling you that company treats you differently. If you are a fresher, company will give you spare time to learn technology. Company will give you 3 months, 6 months, because you are under
Yeah.
training thing. You are working as a
Yeah.
shadow. You
Like
will not get,
interns, they are saying
yeah.
like
Basically, you
interns.
will
Yeah.
not get critical task in the company or in the project because you are a fresher.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
if you are an experienced person, you are coming from another technology into APN, or you are coming from complete APN experience, so company will completely rely on you, on your experience, and company will give you difficult tasks to achieve, because that is
Yeah.
why you are getting the salary much more as compared to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
freshers.
like you said, like interns. No, how can I expect? Because I don't know. No, as a fresher, I don't know how much they will provide. So you may know, right? So
Yeah,
how much we can like. Yes.
you have to make yourself well versed in such a way that you are a fresher into APN, right? Out of any
Yeah, yeah.
technology experience. So you have to make yourself well versed in such a way that you are capable to work in any object in APN. So when in any
Mhm.
object in APN, that means in interface, in integration, in API call, in connected system, in expression rule, in folder security, in every object that you can see in APN, you should know how to work on it.
Yeah,
You should not be blank.
yeah,
You should know how to work on it as a fresher, because everybody is evolving day by day, and working under a project inside the company. You should know how things are working on. So if you want to be a mediocre, so you should be very comfortable and you need not to take care of a number of things. But if you want to achieve something, if you want to grow inside your company, inside your team, if you want to get good increment, so you should have a complete knowledge of your project rather than particular things inside, particular topics inside the project. You should have the complete knowledge, complete holistic knowledge. Like for example, if I am having a team of 10 developers and I am the 11th lead, so as a lead I will be having the complete information and the complete knowledge about how the things are working in my project. But some of the freshers, 2 3 freshers who are in my team, they will not have complete knowledge. They will have little knowledge about interface, little knowledge about folders, because they have now not worked on the rest of the parts of the application. But it is their duty to be curious, to learn things and to study things by understanding the objects. Nobody trains you in a company. Nobody is there to, everybody is a competitor of you. Nobody is there to help you out. Yes, Rupa, I will train you this, I will teach you this. Nothing is free in this world. If you want to compete with others, you have to increase your knowledge by yourself, by self learning, by curiosity. So this is how it works in corporate world.
yeah.
And AYR, how was it?
Hi, Saif.
Hi.
It was very interesting to know about API calls in Appian
Okay, that's
and local variables.
that's great to know. So someday later I'll see you again with some other topics. You can mention the topics inside, like on the group, and I'll try to cover those topics later on someday. Right now, I took a lot of efforts to find 1 hour in my schedule, because my project timelines are quite high, and I hope you learned in through this session. And as I am a trainer, if you are looking forward to get trained, so I am also training. I provide paid training to people who are working, or anybody else. Like I create customized training plans as per your knowledge. If somebody who is from non-technical background, there is a different training plan. If somebody who is from technical background, there is a different training plan. And it is completely transparent process, and nothing is fixed, because I'm not a company. I'm just an independent developer who helps out people in learning API. So this is all about it. I hope you had a great time. I'll shoot this video on YouTube so that you can refer it later on. Thank you.